Hello everyone and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Ultimate Rider Cosmic Ghost Rider. Here we have the Cosmic Ghost Rider displayed in the front window, showing off his motorcycle, his accessories, and then of course the figure itself. On the side, we have some cool artwork there of the Cosmic Ghost Rider coming right at you, and that is going to be the same on both sides. On the back, we do have a product shot of the Ghost Rider on his motorcycle, as well as several smaller shots just showing off some of the accessories and the motorcycle itself. And then, of course, we do have the read-up. Supernatural powers transform Frank Castle from a force of retribution into an eternal spirit of vengeance. And then on the bottom, you do have the UPC code, so you can check with your local retailers to see if they have this in stock. But enough about that. Let's get this open and take a look at the Cosmic Ghost Rider. And here is Cosmic Ghost Rider outside of his packaging, and if you ever wondered what would happen if Frank Castle was imbued with the powers of a spirit of vengeance and the Silver Surfer, well, this is what you get. A very unique design, very just different, very out there. I actually haven't read any of the comic books, I really should, but very cool figure though, taking all sorts of design elements from inspiration from, of course, Ghost Rider, Punisher, and then I guess I don't really see Silver Surfer and the Power Cosmic really represented other than some of his abilities, but the design of the character certainly has some elements to the Punisher with that skull on the chest and, of course, the flaming skull inside of his spacesuit there. Now, when standing straight up, Cosmic Ghost Rider is coming in at about 6.5 inches tall, which makes him about 16.5 centimeters, so your standard height. And then looking at the bike, the length of the bike overall is 13.5 inches long, which makes about 34.3 centimeters. So the bike is pretty substantial as well in terms of the overall size. But the figure is different. I mean, these Ultimate Riders, I'm really glad that Hasbro has given them to us, so I think that is really cool. But let's go ahead now and get a quick look at those accessories, and then we're going to get a better look at Cosmic Ghost Rider. And looking at the first blaster here, they're pretty cool in terms of design, very sci-fi looking, so not a whole lot going on with them. Now for this one, the piece does just port right into the end there for that flame piece, so that's just going to stick on there without any issue. But looking at this other weapon, which does have a little bit different design, it kind of reminds me of a Halo style weapon. I don't know, what do you think? Sort of. But when you take off this blast effect piece, you'll notice the groove there in the top, and if I can get the light to hit it, there's a groove in the bottom of these pieces here, and then you might be able to see it there. There are some grooves down here at the bottom and at the top, so that way when you port it in, it is going to stay in there. So very simple, very cool looking weaponry. I like it a lot. And then looking at the chain here, so we get a cool flame effect, and then the flames are going to have the orange on it, and then as you come down, you'll have the yellow, sort of a translucent yellow throughout the rest, but really cool looking. I like these designs. So just to rewind for a moment, outside of the packaging, the motorcycle is going to come disassembled. So real quick assembly instructions. So the two pieces here that you're going to have, the little lightning effects are going to be the same on the inside, but this one here is going to be the bottom port. Now, personally, what I found to be the easiest is you're going to take these two stems and you're going to port those into the bottom of the forks there. So you got that, and then you can see you have those grooves there, so that's going to line up with the forks, but make sure you push that through the little lightning adapter or lightning effects. And then there you go, there's the bottom piece. And then this definitely was easier for me to port in this effects piece here at the top. And then again, same thing, you have those grooves in the plastic for the forks. And then you just make sure that it all snaps together, which didn't really make a snapping sound, but there it is, it's on. And then the exhaust is going to come off on this side is on for the packaging, but this side is off. So you're just going to port that in, pretty simple as well. And then the handlebars are pretty straightforward. They are the same, so no reason to worry about which one goes where. Just make sure I have the grips facing down. Obviously, you can face them in whatever direction you want. But you'll just pop those on there, and then the bike will be assembled. And then just taking a quick look at the motorcycle as well. So we already showed this piece here when we were assembling it, but looking at the rest of the bike, relatively simple design, a lot of smooth pieces, but you get some of these little sci-fi rings. That's kind of funny. I just think of Futurama when I see the rings in space. Yeah, it's good stuff. The seat looks pretty good, looks like a leather seat. You do have a holster on each side for the weapons, and they are going to be unique to each style of the weapon. And then you have the exhaust ports there on both sides. You get this really cool flame effect coming out of this bottom turbine, which I think is really well done. This actually can come out too if you want to. I don't know where else you'd use it, but it does come out. And then you do have this display piece here that, since he doesn't have a kickstand or anything, you're going to want to use this, and that does port in, and it gives you some flexibility for posing the bike in specific ways if you wanted to. So I think that is very handy to have. We don't get any details with any sort of like gauges or anything. I mean, it's a cosmic bike. It doesn't really abide by the laws of physics, so you don't get any kind of gauges or anything like that. But otherwise, the bike is actually pretty cool looking. And finally, getting up close here to Cosmic Ghost Rider, we see a very cool skull design there underneath that little dome of his, which the dome is removable. It does just pop right off. There's no, oh, look at that. Okay, good, that was paint. Never mind. So, something to be careful on. You might get some paint on it. I thought it was a crack at first, but then I saw it was red. So, all right, well, no big loss there. So anyway, just be careful moving it. You might get paint on it. But looking at that head sculpt now, very cool looking. I like the paint used, the translucent effect that we get on both the flames and towards the base of the skull there where the paint does lighten up is very cool. Now, for the most part, he can turn his head around. Technically, there is some articulation to move the head around, so you can do that, but it looks kind of weird because it throws the flame effect out of place, and if you do that, you're not going to be able to put the dome back on with it, looking in any specific direction, up or down, rather. I mean, it can look left and right, but yeah. And then looking at the rest of the figure, the spikes on his shoulders look pretty decent. You get some textures there on the shoulder pad, just some pitting and stuff like that of the metal. Would have been cool if we would have had some sort of dry brushing or wash in there to kind of accentuate some of those details. As it sits, there's some looks like some faint paintwork maybe? No, I thought maybe the spikes looked like they had a little black shading on it, but no, there's no shading. So that would have been kind of cool to get something on those spikes, but oh well. And then talking about when I said the design on his chest, similar to the Punisher, there we can see a kind of a more Ghost Rider inspired skull on his chest. You got the red eyes there, the nose, and then of course the teeth coming down. So you can see the Punisher influence there. You get these little dots here. So you got blue and red there, but then it goes red and blue there, and then blue and red back on the legs. So you get some alternating colors on the arm there, but otherwise it's all blue and then all red. Back piece, we can actually see that it's a leather jacket with, again, some tattering and things like that. Going down the arm as well, on the backside, looks like a leather jacket, and then you kind of see some more armor there. And then you get his rings. I love it. Again, reminds me of Futurama. He does have just the two weapon-holding hands. He doesn't come with any other kind of hands. One thing you will notice, there is a significant gap in his legs there, and I assume that was done to get him to sit on the bike better. And it looks kind of goofy if you have him just standing up, but I don't see many of us posing this figure either A, without his bike, or B, in some sort of dynamic posing. And then going down the legs, I think, what are these, Taskmasters? The first Taskmaster there, are those his legs? I think so. But you get some armoring and things like that, so pretty cool looking. As far as the articulation, so I mentioned you can move the head around, but you're going to mostly just want to do side to side with it. Nothing too crazy. The arms are going to come up a pretty fair amount, and these shoulder pads aren't going to get in the way. They're attached at the torso piece, not at the actual shoulder, so you can move the arms up and down freely. However, if you do rotate the arms, It's going to go around, but you're going to end up moving that out of the way. Do have an upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, but depending on where you pose it, it's going to get in the way with that shoulder pad. And then you do have a hinge and rotation there at both the wrists. Instead of a waist joint or an ab crunch, he does have a diaphragm joint. Go back quite a ways, can go forward quite a ways. Of course, you got full 360, and you even got some side to side. That actually worked out a lot better for some poses on the bike, so I actually really appreciate that. Legs can come apart, not bad. Can kick forward, a pretty fair amount considering, again, he's got to fit on the motorcycle. Can't really go back at all. Do have an upper thigh cut, double jointed knee, and then you do have a hinge and ankle pivot. And that is going to do it for this review, everyone. So overall, I think this is a very cool figure, and I think he's worth picking up for most of the Marvel Legends collectors out there. It adds a pretty unique piece to your collection, and certainly if you're into the Ultimate Riders, if you already have the one Ghost Rider figure, why not get another Ghost Rider figure? And it'll be cool with some of the cosmic figures that we're getting. But yeah, go get them. Well, no, don't go get them. Order them online. Don't go out. Stay safe. Stay healthy. But pick them up in whatever way you can, because I do think it is worth it. But as I said, that is it for the review. Make sure to hit that like button if you like it. Subscribe for more content just like this. And as always, thanks for watching my video, and have a great day.